Hello, I'm Jody Wolf, and you're watching Expoz. It is February 23, 2017, 1242 a.m. in Birmingham. And the topic, mixed bag. People are seeing things in the American Southwest, the Native American lands, and sightings around the world have peaked of not only UFOs, but of beings, things, and then someone, well, there's a lot of blogs out about that, but one that has been on this since day one, L.A. Marzulli, and he has one that says just around the corner, and he says that because this year, well, we're not quite 2 months into 2017. There's more reportings of seeing flying objects, more reportings of seeing strange things like Bigfoot-wise, more reportings in the American Southwest that are caught on game cameras that they have now, and I have three. Two of them have a 30-second timer. When it catches something, it'll film for 30 seconds. And I can get on a single card, or I get about 60 of those. And I also have one that flashes. The flash sometimes scares things away. But one in particular in the American Southwest, people are complaining to a individual, and I can't tell you who it is because I don't know, and that was withheld. And this person put up one of these game cameras that would film at a movement for 30 seconds. And what they saw, well, they can't explain. And it had been seen many times, many times in the previous months, and then more and more in the last few weeks. There's been more sightings of everything, more strange events of everything around this world at today's date, and you're talking about the 23rd of February, more so than the first 4 months of 2016. And maybe it's because more people are reporting. But what this person recorded on this game camera, it filmed for 30 seconds, but what it filmed was less than a second. But it was enough to see. It looked scary. And they called it a werewolf-looking thing, where the upper portion of it seemed to be wolf-like, but the lower portion of it had extremely long legs. And when it leaped, it came out as if it came out of a portal. It just appeared. You have a wide field there of about 70 or 80 feet. It came out at about 10 feet in, just like it appeared, in one bounce, and then it cleared some pickup trucks and a fence in a bounce, and it had to go about 15 feet high to do that, and the bounce was about 40 feet in distance. And so you see that out there, and L.A. was talking about that. He has the copies of it. And again, no one can explain what they are. And sightings of craft have just peaked. And Mexico has the largest numbers of sightings in the last 6 weeks than the rest of the world combined. And they're everywhere. South America, when you get further along around Peru and Bolivia and going down to Chile, it's just that there's nightly events. There's a place there it's very arid, It's dry, although it's cold, but yet, and it has ice on the nearby mountains, but yet it's the driest place on earth because of the amount of rain that it gets. It's like less than 1/10 of an inch a year. And this is a graveyard that goes on for miles. And used to, people would go pick through it, take stuff out, what they wanted. They found a lot of things, but then the government put a lockdown on it and forbid anyone from going in. Now the people that go in have to have special permits, like L.A. Marzulli and the team he's with. And they can only uncover something that they see, but they have to document that first, and then they put it back the way it was. And so he's gotten a lot of really, well, Nephilim head type pictures, you know, the elongated head. And but I hadn't got to the biggest thing yet. This one, again, once again, we heard this last year. Look, guys, there was a human sacrifice at CERN, the collider, right under the statue of Shiva, the goddess of destruction. People thought that there was a typical celebration on the date that CERN opened. That's what they thought. There was an actual sacrifice. They killed a baby. They did it on an altar right there. And the people around, it's fenced off. They're not permitted in, but the people on the inside, some was blown away by it. And when you connect that with the other one they had, where they're inside of like a large cave, they're honoring the goddess of destruction. And not only that, they're honoring Satan in many different ways. And this has been on the increase everywhere. Portals that people saw just a year and a half ago, leathery looking beings about 12 feet tall, bat shaped, but had the heads of elongate, not like a long beak, in other words, like a serpent. They would come around this portal, and I'm talking about from the United States, if you get to Montana and you were to go about 300 miles or 400 miles north and a little bit west in Canada, right there. And I hadn't looked to see how far it was from HARP, because there is a HARP adjacent to that that's in Alaska. And again, they're seeing these things come out of these portals, and that's not the only place. They're seeing them coming out of portals, seeing them coming out of portals again in the Midwest. And when you get up on top of some of these mountains, look, L.A. thinks in his mind and all his studies, he said that the time of disclosure has to be near. He said it's almost like things are beginning to practice now. Practice just coming out. He also said that they have mastered a copy of the human, that every day you see them, you may even talk to them. You may sit down and eat with them, and you won't know it. So there's a lot going on there. And then on the Trump side, he is doing so much. And what he is doing, the more noise the left makes. And look, the guilty parties are the one that screams the loudest. You know that. Think about it. The guilty parties makes the most noise because they want to overtalk everyone. Well, Trump, the louder they get, the quicker he moves. This man is getting about 4 hours of sleep a night. He has postponed his last 4 golf games. Now, he does not play anything like Obama. Obama wouldn't postpone a golf game to greet 100 dead Americans come into this country. No, there's no way he'll do it. But Trump postponed it just because he had to head on down to Texas, and I think it's Texas, maybe it's Arizona, to make sure that some things were signed along with PENCE, and he's making them matter and matter and matter, which is good. That's what we want to hear. But in the end, I'm not going to make an issue of this, but I'm going to read this because I've been reading everything they have every day, and this one got my eyes today. Today, they had more posts on the Iraqi dinar than they've had since maybe 2.5 years ago. Just today, I think the posts were in the 16 range. That's high, maybe 17. And Adam, Montana had 3 in a row, and there was a tiny one beyond there. He was like number 13. And then 2 hours later, I go back and just look at it because I'm going to wrap it up. And boom, I see another line of them. But I'm going to read one of them. And this one is, let me make sure I get the right one. Okay. All right, here it is. This is the right one. I want to make sure I get it right. And in the past few days, you've seen the storm picking up speed. This is Intel guru Dr. Clark. Surprise visit to Iraq by General Mattis. Tons of extra troops into Iraq/Mosul on Sunday. Not even heard about that yet. Vice President Pence also met with Abadi. Merkel of Germany is sending an envoy to assist with Iraq's monetary reform. Behind that it says, what? Question marks. Monetary reform. You heard it right. And this week, you've heard all kinds of news regarding the dinar rates and the dollar rates changing. All she says, or if it's a she, I don't know, keep your fingers crossed. It's on February 22nd, 2 days into the storm. That's what it tells you, guys. I mean, I'm reading it right there. And I won't read the other 2 because I don't want to get anybody's hopes up any further than I just did. But you can see it for yourself. And the last one posted was Intel Guru Ray Wren 98. And he put some out that I do not believe in. Look, if I'm going to choose an amount, I'll choose. I hate to go under 86 cents, but it's very possible it could be way under 86 cents. And I don't want to exceed $1.20. I'm afraid to even think higher than that. Either one would be great with me. But I wanted to pass that along and let you know the news of today, because I'm going to get fussed at by posting this dinar. But I'm going to post it because when I feel that something is worth posting and something that people may want to hear, you know, there's a little uptick there, I want to post it. I'm not giving you hope that anything's going to happen. I've heard this 1,000 times. But one day, it has to happen. No beans about it. It's got to happen. Keep in mind, his neighbor, Iraq's neighbor, Iran, their monetary is way on up there. Kuwait. Now, also, just below that, I didn't read it, It said today that Iraq has been posted the #1 top producer, future producer, because they have the most oil under their ground than any other place in this earth. They said #1. That's what they said. They said they can surpass Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and all the Oman and all the Qatars, all the cities around the Mediterranean or whatever, not the Mediterranean, but the other side, Red Sea, not the Red Sea. You know what I'm trying to say. Iraq has the potential to outpace every one of them without tapping into any other of their resources. We're talking about oil alone. So it's foolish for Kuwait to be at 330 or 340, and then somebody else, Saudi Arabia, 371, then somebody else right at the same amount. And all these Qatars, all these little countries, they're all of them in the 320 and up to 370 range, every one of them. And here Iraq has more oil than all of them, and they're sitting down here at 1,184 to $1. That's got to change. Got to change. And the reason Merkel went to help with it, because they too want to get Iraq on its feet so they can compete with the world and finish their going. But when PENCE and MATTIS went there, they brought the troops with them to help clear out, Mosul? Yeah. Look, Mosul, they're the ISIS, they're not as embedded as they were. Most are gone. There's a few left, but it's going to take a lot to get that few out. But the few are powerless. I want to tell you that they're into hiding, and the few are powerless. They can't stop anything. One of the biggest malls in all of Iraq is underway today. The second biggest mall in all of Iraq just opened 2 months ago. And guess where? In Mosul. That's enough said. You kind of get my drift. Lots going on and lots to come. Jody Wolf, Expoz.